I think it was two great poets that said, in a Ferrari, a Jaguar, switching 4 lanes with the top back, screaming out, money ain't a thing. I think it was two great poets that said that. Listen, anyway, today's video, man, look, we back. And we got a video, it's called God Level Drivers Who Do Unreal Things. Unreal things, bro. So we about to see some crazy driving skills displayed on hand, all right? We're going to check out that as well as the fastest workers in the world. You'll regret if you don't see them, all right? These two videos. Now, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button and rock with your boy L, all right? Here we go.
Hello everyone. Even if you've only performed car stunts in a video game like Need for Speed, you've probably have some idea of how difficult it actually is. Of course, drifting and overcoming obstacles may seem easy in movies, but in real life, many people are not able to cope with basic traffic rules.
Go!
Not to mention tricks. However, as with anything, there are some real experts among drivers. We're going to talk about them today. Let's get it on. Parking a truck. You don't have to be an experienced driver to know that the bigger the car, the harder it is to park it. Of course, there are all sorts of devices that can help, like rear view cameras, but there are also professionals who can pull incredible stunts.
Bro, look at the speed. Now, I've driven 18-wheelers before, bro. That's not a task that you take lightly. You know what I'm saying? That job takes some skill, especially when you learn how to drive. It's intimidating because of the size of the vehicle. The vehicle is very intimidating when you first start to learn, you know what I'm saying? But once you get comfortable, it kind of shrinks in size, and you know what I mean? But to see them do it at the speed he was just doing it in, hopefully the video wasn't just sped up to show that. If you're doing that in that type of speed, that's crazy.
On huge cars without any gadgets. For example, check out this Iveco truck driver performing during a competition for the title of Best Driver.
Bro, look at how he got it jackknife right now, bro.
Just look at him squeezing between the obstacles.
That's a skilled driver. That is a skill. To do that, weave in and out of cones with 34 feet of trailer behind you, it's not easy.
Some parking with surgical precision. By the way, such competitions are pretty common throughout the world. One of the most famous is the Dakar Rally, and it's held annually in various countries from Europe to South America. Drivers of various vehicles like cars, motorcycles, ATVs, UTVs, and trucks take part in this competition. The most interesting thing is that most participants are amateurs, not professionals.
What?
Climbing stairs. To be honest, at first glance, this guy seems to have defeated the laws of gravity.
Yeah, we've seen this one before.
Just look at this dizzying trick. Meet Ho Pin Tung, a Chinese driver who won the world-famous 24 Hours of Le Mans in 2017 in the LMP2 category. Winning this incredible competition is a huge deal, but he decided not to stop there and took part in another, no less crazy challenge. For starters, Ho Pin Tung ran along a road with 99 hairpin turns.
What's crazy is, though, these dudes do all these testings and different things, and the people who drive these vehicles are the people that just, you know, point A to point B to point C to back to point A. Like, it's very, like, you know what I'm saying? But in the event that you do end up on a windy road like that, I guess it's good to have, but the chances of you or somebody being like that, the percentages are way low. It's just funny to me they go through these great lengths to test these vehicles like that, when you ain't gonna do nothing but go to Burger King and back. You know what I mean? Popeyes or something like that. That's as far as you probably gonna go.
Then, behind the wheel of a hybrid version of the Range Rover Sport SUV, he drove to the foot of the legendary Heaven's Gate Arch, located on the Tianmen Mountain in China. The way to the top of the mountain is formed by 999 stairs. Its slope is as much as 45 degrees, although it reaches 90 degrees in some places. Before the experiment, no one, not even the creators of the challenge from Land Rover, were fully confident that the rider would not crash and die at the last moment. After all, nobody had done anything like that before him. But the incredible thing happened. Hoping Tung climbed the steep mountain in one go and did the unthinkable.
I see once he hit that gas, I wouldn't advise he stop until he get to the top.
It took him 22 minutes and 41 seconds to complete the entire journey, including the switchback road and the steps. By the way, the capacity of the car participating in the challenge is equal to 404 horsepower. You're probably already wondering why this challenge has so many 9s. The fact is that it's considered a lucky number in many Asian cultures. In 1999, on the same mountain, there was a special performance, during which planes flew through a hole at the top of the mountain. Leg drift.
Oh yeah.
This video was made possible not only by the bravery of the driver, but also by his struggle and faith in himself. Almost 15 years ago, Bartosz Ostolowski from Poland was involved in a terrible car accident. Fortunately, his life was saved thanks to the quick arrival of an ambulance, but he had to give something up after the accident. In order to keep the 20-year-old alive, the doctors had to amputate both of his arms. A lot of people in Bartosz's place would have been desperate and would never have been able to live a normal life again. But this guy literally started living again, learning how to do things with his feet instead of his hands. Moreover, he didn't even give up on his lifelong dream of becoming a professional driver and competing for the national team. To do this, Bartosz learned to drive with his legs, and today is one of the greatest drifters in the world. But how
can't tell me that, you know what I'm saying, you can't overcome obstacles, bro.
How exactly does he drive his customized Nissan?
And I've heard his story before, but I like to keep hearing it because every time it gets that much more motivational.
And Skyline GT R34. With his left foot, he spins the steering wheel, his right foot pushes the pedals, and the gears are shifted by a special prosthesis attached to the driver's shoulder. Well, this is probably one of the coolest motivational stories ever.
Crazy.
Side wheelie. If you want a little bit more speed even after the last videos, we'll fix that. This video is as invigorating as your morning espresso. Finnish stuntman Vesa Kivimaki is behind the Guinness Book speed record on a BMW, in an unusual way, on 2 side wheels. What's more, at over 186 kilometers per hour.
It's an impressive skill, but why though? I'm gonna be that person that always asks why. Like, when do I need this skill? I guess the one time you need it, it'll make for all the practice that you did worth it. The one time you'll need to do it in life, I guess that one time will be enough. It's worth it. But I'm just like, why? Why do I need to know this skill? Why is this skill super dope? Don't get me wrong. It's fire that you know how to do it. It looks cool. It looks dope. You know what I'm saying? But other than a warped tire, what is my satisfaction?
The spectacular race was held on the runway at Seinäjoki Airport, and the event was sponsored by Nokian Tires Company, which used it to promote its extra strong tires with aramid fiber. The previous record was set by Goran Eliasson from Sweden. Kivimaki beat it by exactly 5 kilometers per hour. By the way, there is a similar record, only for the longest distance covered by a car on 2 wheels. You won't believe it, but it's over 370 kilometers.
Wow.
Tractor drift. Who says that only tuned Nissans?
Y'all going too far right now. Tractor drift? Y'all are taking this too far.
Mazdas and Toyotas can drift and do burnouts. It turned out that even a tractor can ride sideways if you really try. The Swedish tire brand Vianor proved it. They took a 1956 Volvo
farmers everywhere loaded up for the tractor drift, man. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, that's just funny to me.
BM Terrier upgraded it to 225 horsepower and released it out onto the fields, and it was quite successful. The tractor made such steep turns that even some racers would be jealous. Barrel roll in a car. You know what a barrel roll is? It's a maneuver in which a vehicle makes a 360-degree turn on its longitudinal, maintaining its original direction. Usually this trick is performed by pilots in aircraft, but recently it's become a little more down to earth, all thanks to Terry Grant, a multiple Guinness Book record holder from the United Kingdom. In 2017, he performed an extraordinary trick. He flew 15 meters on a Jaguar E-Pace crossover, making a 270-degree and the longest ever barrel roll with a car. During the jump, the pilot experienced an overload of 5.5 Gs. For reference, real astronauts experience much less overload when descending on the spaceship Soyuz. By the way, 2 years earlier, Terry Grant performed another crazy trick. He drove the largest dead loop in the world, almost 20 meters high. Parallel parking. The art of parallel parking is not always easy, even for experienced drivers, but it also has its record holders.
Every time I see those cars, I think, y'all thinking the same thing I think? The Italian Job, that movie, Mark Wahlberg, Mos Def. Who else was in that? Jason Statham? Who else was in that? I can't remember besides those three right now.
The coolest professionals is Chinese stunt driver Han Yu, who does a great job parallel parking Mini Coopers. In 2012, he zipped his car into a parking space that was only 15 centimeters longer than the vehicle, and 2 years later, he broke his own record. This time, that gap was only 8 centimeters.
That's great.
Narrow tunnel. This video could be called Trying to Fit Into Your Favorite Jeans After Christmas Holidays or something like that. It shows a tour bus squeezing through a tunnel on a highway in South Dakota. The width of the tunnel is about 244 centimeters, while the width of the bus is a few centimeters less. Fortunately, the driver's skill helped him to get out of the gorge in one piece.
That's close. That's close.
8-hour drift. Ordinary taxi drivers are not advised to work for more than 8 hours in a row, as this can lead to loss of concentration and dangerous situations on the road. Even considering that in a big city, a driver is more likely to be stuck in traffic for half a day rather than actually driving. But 8 hours can also be a record when it comes to unusual types of driving, as in this case.
That's like that with trucking. Trucking, you got 8 hours, then you got to take at least a 30-minute break before you can go back out there. But you only have, like, you know what I'm saying, 11 hours to drive, and you got 14 hours to do it in. You know what I'm saying? Although that may seem complicated, those who drive trucks understand what I just said. Darn it.
Danish driving instructor Johan Schwartz drifted in circles for 8 hours in a row in a BMW M5, setting a world record. In total, the driver drove 374 kilometers without a single stop. Previously, the main difficulty in performing this trick was refueling the car, but this was solved using an innovation from BMW. The fact is that Schwartz's car was refueled on the move using another drifting car with an additional tank in the trunk. A stuntman connected a hose to Schwartz's car and started pumping fuel. Clever, isn't it?
Wow.
Bail out, bud. Woohoo! That's nice. It's getting hot there, I think. Pump up, we're out. Go, baby, go.
Driving in reverse.
That's crazy. crazy. Tell me they can't come up with something, man. Listen, bro. In a minute, we gonna beat this coronavirus thing too, man. I'm telling y'all, bro, we'll come up with something.
Driving in reverse is not the most enjoyable situation for any driver, but it turns out that for some motorists, driving this way is a real pleasure. For example, this man from India has been driving in reverse for 12 years in a row. In all this time, he's traveled as much as 65,000 kilometers. The most interesting thing is that for Harpreet, it wasn't some quirk. One day, his car broke down in the middle of the road and he needed to get home anyway. So the driver put a bold face on and drove all the way back looking through the rear window, and has not stopped since. Moreover, he'd already upgraded his car for this type of driving, and even opened a specialized school in his hometown to train other drivers. Huge speed bump. This video is obviously an ad, but its creators should be praised for their creativity and sense of humor. The British company Jaguar Land Rover decided to test the patience of passenger car owners, building a 1.5 meter tall speed bump in London. Of course, most likely people in the video are paid actors, but when watching the video, it's difficult not to sympathize with them. The experiment looks especially cruel when a luxury crossover Range Rover Evoque suddenly appears on the road and easily overcomes the obstacle. While passers-by and drivers stop silently with their jaws on the floor. Well, thankfully, these speed bumps are not real. Psst, dude, are you looking for new technology?
That was crazy. That was crazy. Let's check out the fast workers, though.
Watching people doing something incredibly fast is a real sight to see. Around the world, there are a few special people who have truly mastered their jobs and can now do them at incredible speeds. There's nothing quite like watching someone do things with more skill than you could ever hope for. However, some of these people are so quick, it's difficult to sometimes follow the movements of their hands. Ready to see these next level workers? Let's get it on! Office jobs can be very tedious. Sometimes you need to get through hundreds of documents or perform repetitive tasks when all you want to do is go to lunch. This guy has worked out a method to ensure he never misses his lunch break ever again. It's unclear just how many documents he manages to stamp in just a few seconds, but it does look like he's somehow able to do it faster than a machine. Just think how slow your printer is compared to him. Counting money.
Dang, bro. Oh my God. All of us have had that feeling when you come to the new job. You're the new person on the floor. Everybody else moving light speed, and you're sitting there trying to figure everything out. It's the worst feeling. But you eventually build up the speed and stuff. You got to put the time and the work in, right? That's what these do. They don't put the time and the work in, and they done figured out how to do it faster and more efficient. And you gotta salute. It takes time to be able to do something like that. That dude was moving at an insane speed though, bro. They need to check they need to urine test him. For real, for real.
Is one of those jobs that are both tedious and difficult. That's why we have machines to do it in just a few seconds. This amazing woman doesn't seem to need them though. She has seriously mastered counting money, using a super fast finger technique that we'll never hope to understand it.
My question is, what the hell?
It seems impossible to be accurate at those speeds, but she pulls it off perfectly, and doesn't even seem excited that she counts almost as fast as a machine. Anyone who's ever tried rolling a burrito at home knows just how wrong it can go. However, this guy rolls kebabs so fast and with such crazy accuracy that you'd imagine he has no idea how it could be done any other way. He fills and bags them at lightning speed as well, but it's the rolling that's particularly impressive. There's no special effects here. He reaches a moment when you can't even see his hands moving anymore. It's so quick you'd swear he was using magic to roll them. If you've ever cleaned a window, you'll know streaks are your enemy. They can be incredibly difficult to get rid of. These guys have worked out a method to clean not just one, but both sides of a window in just a few seconds perfectly. With both sides of a window clean, it's easy to spot a streak, so they just work perfectly in tandem. Both men have window cleaning skills that are second to none, and somehow still do it at a lightning fast speed. Takoyaki is a popular Japanese snack, and as a result of this, chefs have had to learn how to make them incredibly quickly to keep up with the demand for the Japanese munch. And this chef is one of the best. He manages to fold and flip each one with incredible speed, somehow with just 2 chopsticks, which would probably make it almost impossible for any of us to flip even one. Formula 1 is all about speed, so it obviously requires every element to be done exceptionally fast. However, even in that environment, people are still able to outdo themselves. Pit stops are crucial because
pit stops was one of the first ones I've seen like doing a job at that type of speed, and you just being like, holy shit. Like, and then you're sitting there. I know me, I would sit there after they would come out of the pit and be like, all right, any moment now that tire is gonna roll off of there, or any moment now the lugs are gonna get. It's something, but them dudes are efficient.
Because they could mean the difference between life and death, but that needs to be balanced with speed. This team makes it look easy though, performing a full pit stop perfectly in less than 2 seconds.
Wow.
It ends before you've realized it even started. That's truly incredible teamwork. Sumo wrestlers are famous for many amazing physical feats, but speed isn't really one of them. Well, allow me to change your mind about that. This video shows the unique way sumo wrestlers sign autographs. They've ignored a signature and instead used the palm of their hand as a stamp. Not only is this totally unique, it's also clearly very, very fast, allowing them to sign more than 1 autograph a second. Celebrities would have much more time if they adopted this technique. Anyone who's still worried about robots taking over the world will think twice after they see this video. This human conveyor belt transports and stacks pineapples with an efficiency that machines can only dream of. These amazing field workers are so fast and so accurate, they look like a centipede walking. And you just know there isn't a machine
Now that's what you call an assembly line.
on Earth that can stack pineapples that close together. It's a display of human teamwork at its very best. Croissants are pretty difficult to make, but there's always some expert craftsman who can make things look easy. This baker can cut his croissants pastry at genuinely miraculous speeds. It's difficult to believe, but in less than a minute, he's able to cut the pastry for an astounding 500 croissants. It's amazingly accurate at those speeds, with each triangle coming out perfect and identical. Even more impressively, he's able to do it without losing any fingers. At a glance, modeling might seem easy to most. However, there's actually a lot more work behind the scenes that goes into it. In about a second, he can think of a new pose, move into it, freeze his body in the perfect position, and even sometimes beating the photographer. Those workers aren't the only ones outdoing the robot overlords. In India, automated factories aren't very popular. Not because machines are expensive, but because human workers are just simply faster. These cabbage choppers are the perfect example of that. It's not only their speed that's impressive, but the
Take that, robots! All these robots just popping up everywhere, taking over jobs. Take that, robots!
accuracy and teamwork as well. Normal people would never finish chopping that pile of cabbages, but it feels like those guys will be done in a matter of minutes. No machine can top that. Cooking is great, eating is better, but then you have to do something about the dishes. The lucky ones among us have machines to clean them for us, and with good reason. It takes forever to wash them. This man is not like us though. He can actually claim that our silly machine is inefficient. His dishwashing speed is genuinely amazing, especially since getting through a stack of dishes like that would feel like an eternity to the rest of us. I bet you never thought something as completely mundane as getting water off a road could be impressive, but that's how you know these people have it down to a fine art. These broom-wielding magicians can sweep water away as though it's a solid object they're wheeling down the road.
That don't even look real. Back that up.
Be impressive, but that's how you know these people have it down to a fine art. These broom-wielding magicians can sweep water away as though it's a solid object they're wheeling down the road. What's even more amazing is the way they work together so effectively that they look like they're actually one machine. The world would be so much more efficient if we could all do that.
That's crazy.
Bottle caps are the undoing of many party tricks. Sure, there are those few people with some tricks, but we've all failed at that simple task once before. Not this guy though. It's difficult to believe these caps weren't balanced on top of those bottles before he got there, but he really is removing bottle caps faster than your eyes can see. It's one of those videos that makes you want an instant replay because it's happening faster than you can even count the bottles. Usually when working with dangerous materials, people will choose to approach.
Now that's who you want behind the bar when you go to a bar. That guy. No fluff, no stuff, no fancy tricks and nothing. Just straight through it with speed and efficiency. That's my bartender.
Them with tentative caution. This glass cutter doesn't appear to be afraid of anything though. He seems completely unconcerned about the huge sheets of glass he's working with or the seemingly wobbly stand he's putting them on. He just does what he needs to do accurately and smashes the rest onto the floor around him. He clearly knows what he's doing, but that won't help the anxiety levels of anyone watching. We all know how much of our time is taken up by cleaning and just wish it could go faster. This guy stopped wishing and invented a way to clean up spills in just a few seconds. He's so good at it that it makes you wonder why you're seemingly incapable of achieving that even though you do it all the time. But it probably wouldn't even work like that if you tried it. He's basically Superman. There are some jobs that can only be done by those special few who have superhuman capabilities, and this is definitely one of them. This sign language interpreter had the almost impossible challenge of interpreting one of the fastest
Is it Tech Nine or Twister? I thought I saw her do.
rappers on Earth. And she didn't just do it, she did it in style. It almost looks like a new kind of dance, but she does it so effortlessly that she literally steals the show, doing a job that most professionals would run far away from, and it's extremely impressive. There's an abundance.
That's crazy. Oh, I want to go to a concert just to see her do that with Tech Nine and Twister. Oh, yeah.
Abundance of candy making videos online, and for good reason. There's something therapeutic about sugar. The person cutting candy in this video probably doesn't feel that way though. They don't seem that impressive at the start, but you might want to hold off on thinking you could do that. Within a matter of moments, this person is cutting candy with such impossible speed you can't help but think they're actually faster than a machine. And no, the video isn't sped up. A well-baked cake should be light and fluffy. This means they're delicate and can be difficult to handle. This chef isn't too worried about that. He has a method to get these little cake balls out of their mold in just a few seconds using a skewer, which simply must be a magic wand in disguise. The method is incredibly fast and accurate, and miraculously doesn't seem to damage the cakes at all. If only it were that easy for home bakers. These days, factories have incredibly fast and efficient machines, but some special humans simply can't be outdone by them. This guy has such an incredible amount of dexterity and speed, there's no way a machine could do his job any better. He's so good at what he does that he can do it almost without moving, and he doesn't even need to have his eyes open.
I was about to say, is he asleep? He looks asleep.
He's so incredible, I wouldn't be surprised to learn he's actually asleep while doing it. Speed is essential in firefighting since a few seconds can cost someone their life. These Croatian firefighters prove just how fast and how dedicated they actually are. While watching the crucial penalty kick against Russia that took Croatia into the World Cup semifinal, these firefighters are suddenly up, dressed in their suits, in the trucks, and out on the road with sirens wailing before the goal could be called. They're not just incredibly fast, but also much more dedicated than the rest of us. Many ingenious work.
That's why they make you do a quick dress in under 2 minutes. Ask me how I know.
Workers have done something for so long that they've worked out the most efficient way of executing their jobs. But these guys really stand out from the crowd. A job like that would normally take a huge amount of time-consuming, back-breaking labor. But these three guys have worked out how to do it perfectly and in a matter of moments. If you listen close, you'll probably be able to hear someone shout, "Why didn't I think of that?" Have you ever hurt yourself doing a DIY project and felt that there just has to be a better way to do it? Well, this guy's found it. It turns out the answer to keeping your thumb out of the way is to hold a hammer in that hand too. His amazing two-handed hammering really seems to get the job done, with about one nail pounded securely into the block of wood within 1 second. That's the speed, strength, and accuracy of a true pro. In most cases,
I'd still mess it up.
Special machines are used to pour sauce from large containers into smaller ones, and this happens fully autonomously in factories. However, automation isn't too popular everywhere. For example, this worker has completely replaced the need for such machines. He's worked out how to shake the box so perfectly that each cup somehow gets exactly the right amount of ketchup in a fraction of a second, allowing him to fill a tray of 70 cups in under 30 seconds. It shouldn't be possible, but he's found a way to do it. Hey,
hey man, we always gonna find a way to work smarter, not harder, bro. I'm telling y'all, that's in our nature. We're gonna figure it out, man. But y'all looking at me, let me know what y'all think, man. Stick around and stay tuned to the next reaction. I'm out. Peace. Y'all stay solid. Hey.